everyone, thanks for joining me today as I am going to be doing here a deck profile for my Aegislash deck. This is definitely something that is quite unique and a lot of people definitely aren't willing to give this a go, but believe me, once you actually try it out, you're going to have a lot of fun with this. And this is one of the decks that's actually quite interesting for the fact that it actually is more than just a fun deck. It could actually take on quite a few top decks out there, and you'd be surprised at how well this actually goes. This deck could potentially be considered a rogue deck, but I guess we'll have to find out once you guys actually go ahead and play with it. However, I'm just going to show you guys this deck list, and that way you guys could actually start building right away. So to begin with Pokemon, we're going to be playing here Aegislash. So firstly we have this version, and we also have the sword version as well. So the shield version has Gigaton Bash, which is essentially an attack that deals only 70 damage. However, you pretty much prevent all damage dealt by any Pokemon VMAX, which is absolutely amazing because, well, whatever VMAX your opponent has, they won't be able to do anything to this particular card. The really amazing thing about this Aegislash shield form is the fact that after rotation, all of the GX cards are going to be gone forever. And as a result, in the standard format, you're just going to be going up against Vs and Vmaxes. So this here is going to be very strong after the rotation, but for the time being, this is already doing so well. The other card we have here is the Aegislash sword form. Now I only have one copy of this, but if I had a second copy, I would definitely add it in. Try to put in, or at least fit in, 2 copies of each because you definitely need it. 100% of the time in after rotation, the shield version would never actually be knocked out. Whereas for the sword version, it is still vulnerable at 150 HP, but there are a few things you could actually do to try and mitigate that, but we'll just get to it later. But dealing a whopping 210 is incredibly powerful because as soon as you switch it into this other form here, you could deal with 70 damage. That's 280 together, and although it takes 2 turns to deal that 280, it's enough to knock out really high HP Pokemon. A lot of the Vs really much, or should I say every V out there. But the concept is stance change is just a really nice ability, allowing them to both switch every single turn, which is just really amazing. Of course, that goes without saying, it is a stage 2 deck, so we're going to be playing 2 copies here of the Doublade, simply because we're already playing Rare Candy in the deck, so there's no need to really focus on the Doublade anyway, but I added in just in case we need it. And we're also playing 4 copies here of Honedge because, well, it's the main one we actually need to go into, so this should seem pretty self-explanatory as per the ratios for a stage 2 deck. Of course, we are playing a steel deck here, so no doubt we're going to be playing here 2 copies of Zacian V. Just a great card to get you started with your effects, obviously, and Intrepid Sword is still going to be a really powerful ability before and after rotation. So without a doubt, I definitely have to include this in the deck. However, what I will say is I am not playing ADP. I didn't really want to play this deck with ADP in it because it's kind of like a preparation for after rotation. Once rotation hits, ADP is gone, so I want to just get more preparation, more practice into a deck that is ready for post-rotation. So with that being said, there's no need to include ADP. This is a pure steel deck or pure metal deck. And so that means we are going to be playing here 2 copies of Jirachi as well. Having a small engine to loop around and just empty out your deck is absolutely fantastic. And moving on here, we're playing the Pasaka. Pasaka is definitely amazing for the fact that it also just adds extra damage onto your attacks as well. So if you have Pasaka on your bench dealing the extra 20 damage, and you do it together with your sword form, which deals 210, you're adding that up to 230, which is enough to actually get rid of a Zacian, which is kind of funny because we are actually playing Zacian in this deck. And finally, for a bit of supporting Pokemon, we're going to be playing here Dedenne and Crobat. Without a doubt, just really amazing cards. After rotation, you just take out the Dedenne and you put in either Eldegoss, or you could put in your second copy of Crobat V, and that would be fine as well. Now moving on to item cards, we basically just want to search out the deck as much as possible, and I have over here 4 copies of Quick Ball, we have 2 copies of Level Ball, and we also have 2 copies of Evo Incense as well. Now the 2 Level Balls, you guys might be thinking, why not play 4? We just don't have enough Pokemon that are under 90 attack or 90 HP. As a result, Level Ball at 2 is more than enough to actually suffice in this particular operation of getting all your cards. But with that being said, Evolution Incense, Level Ball is just enough for actually getting all of your cards to your hand, at least the ones that you really need, and Evo Incense just does the job to get all of the Evo cards. But try not to search the Galarian Pasaka with the Evolution Incense. It's meant to be used to search for either the Doublade or your Aegislash. And if you ever get stuck with actually getting the wrong Pokemon in your hand, you always have here the communications to actually just get what you need and swap out. Now for a bit of disruption, we're going to be playing here 2 copies of Catcher, and we're also playing here Great Catcher. Allowing you to manipulate the board is one of the most powerful things you could actually do. You want full control, and as a result, the catchers and the Great Catchers here, well actually all of these are catchers, they're just so good. But at the same time, you should also be worried about your own cards as well, your own Pokemon swapping out. So Scoop Up Net to work for the Jirachi engine, and same thing applies with the Switch as well. If you have these cards, you should be fine manipulating the entire board. Moving on here, we're playing 4 copies of Rare Candy, but I'm sure you guys already saw that coming. Same thing applies for 4 copies of Metal Saucer. This is a metal deck after all, so without a doubt, you're definitely going to be playing 4 of each of these cards here. And as for supporters, we're playing here 2 Boss's Orders, and we're playing 4 copies of Professor's Research. This is kind of self-explanatory. You want to just draw out your entire deck as much as possible, and Boss's Orders, again, it just gives you more control of the board. Together with the catches, you're in a really, really good position. As for energy, we're going to be playing here 1 Aurora Energy, just because it just suffices at certain times and helps you get cards to the discard pile as well, allowing you to fill your discard pile so that you could actually use your, your metal sources. So definitely really nice there. And we're also playing here 2 copies of Coding Energy. Coding Energy is nice, but once it enters the discard pile, you can't use Metal Saucer to reattach this back to your Pokemon, so I'm only choosing to play 2 of them, and as a result I'm playing here 6 copies of the basic Metal Energy or Steel Energy, and it just works out for the deck. But that's essentially it for this whole deck profile, so I do hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, drop a like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. However, I do thank you guys for actually joining me today. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I'll see you all next time.